is muggy today. Oh my gosh. It's such like a moody, rainy day, but it is so beautiful today. Man, it's hot. 2 trips up the stairs and I'm already sweaty. Yes, my sweatshirt and my t-shirt are the exact same. Grad school. Student loans. Anyway, it is a lovely day in Maine. It is Friday today? Yeah. I'm in my Friday finest. The best sweats I got. And I wonder why I'm single. Just kidding. I don't wonder. You all always ask. Probably because I look like a frump dumpster 80% of the time. I'm kidding. I knew there wasn't going to be anyone here today, so I don't really care what I look like. I'm probably going to get sweaty and dirty anyway, or at least that's what I thought. So I'm at my parents' house. I'm upstairs in the barn where all of my stuff is in storage, where I dumped everything every trip I made up here with my car, where my dad and I dumped my big items when we made the final trip down to Massachusetts and brought my last load of things up here. So I've been working almost every day since, so I haven't had a chance to get over here and just organize this stuff. So that was today's plan. I was gonna come over here and just work at things. My dad has cleared out some shelving that he said I could put some of the smaller items on, and then we could tuck some of the bigger items back out of the way. At least that was the plan. I know you can't really tell. Okay, it's darker than a boot back there, but it's already been done. The whole place is clear, it's organized, small things are stacked on the shelves, the big things have been moved to the side and are standing upright. That crazy man did everything I was gonna come here to do and didn't tell me about it because he knew I would have yelled at him. Because he's been overdoing it. Those stairs are crazy. He fell down those stairs the other day. I can't remember if it was the day after we moved or the next day, but either way. Plus he's been shoveling a ton of gravel and chopping wood and moving rocks around. And then he said his legs just gave out from under him. Luckily, it was just those last couple steps at the bottom, but still, clearly those things were built, and I don't even know what year this barn was built, but not to code nowadays. They're a little steep and a little narrow, and oh, when my brother told me that, like, my stomach dropped out. Called my dad. Oh, I'm fine, it's fine. Like, oh my god. Apparently, like, all scun up and bruised, his arms, his shins. Oh my god. Parents. Of course, he doesn't listen when I tell him not to do things, or to chill out, or call me, let me come help. Wait till I'm here, you know. No. Anyway, what do I do now? I still have to dig through and find some things. I have like a running list on my phone of things that I need to locate and take back to my aunt's with me. Just put, I don't exactly know where everything has ended up. I was just taking carloads at a time, just stuffing shit. Everything just kind of gets jumbled and dumped together. So I've got to do some digging. It was downpouring a little bit ago on my way here. It was just gently raining when I left my aunt's house, and on the way here I saw a farmer's market, and my car breaks for farmer's markets. Lately I want to put my money where my mouth is when it comes to supporting local economy and keeping my money in my neighbors' pockets and supporting my neighbors as opposed to like supermarket chains. I got some corn, zucchini, a beautiful looking tomato, and a bunch of broccolini, so that should carry me for a few days. But the second I pulled into the farmer's market, it started downpouring, so I got soaked. So all of my clothes are a little bit soggy, which is okay. And then further along the way, I went over the river, and it was just so foggy and beautiful. It wasn't quite the view from up over the top of the bridge, but it's so pretty. It is so pretty in Maine. Oh, you guys, I have been not appreciative of this place. Growing up here, I always thought it was so boring and there was never anything to do. Just because I was one of those kids that lived out here in the country, not in town where other people, where you could walk to your friends' houses and things like that. It was pretty isolated here, so I spent a lot of time by myself in the woods, building forts, playing in the creek, playing in the water, swimming, playing ice hockey, ice fishing, sledding, you know, anything that was outdoors. That's what we did. But when I was 18, I wanted nothing more than to get away from this place. But I told myself it was because Maine was boring and it didn't have enough going on. And so, you know, off I went to Florida and all up and down New England and gained some perspective, I guess you could say. But nowadays, I think what I was really running from is not necessarily Maine. I just was running away from childhood, and I just wanted to go get away from all of that, which don't really need to get into, but it just wasn't the happiest time. And so I think that's what I wanted to get away from, but I didn't want to admit that to myself. So I said I just wanted to get away from Maine, but no. Although this like hardcore appreciation of nature and being outdoors is probably more of a recent thing now that I've gotten older. I think that's natural. Like you realize that your pace can slow down a little bit, and like the flashy things aren't as important, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. And this hardcore desire of a slower life and more nature and less chaos and, you know, less of this. And whew, Maine is like, plus it's, you know, 20 years later, it's a lot more populated, there's a lot more going on, there's more people flooding here all the time, and it's not as remote and boring as it used to be. I now can super appreciate this place, and like growing up here has been so cool. I got to play in and on the water all the time, and so much fun, and I love that I'm back here now. I really do, which is so crazy to say, but I'm just so happy. You know, job and housing market aside, I'm really genuinely happy to be here. I've located most of the junk that I came here to collect. A couple things I can't find, but I just ran out of energy, and it's so hot up there, and it's just so muggy out today. This mist in the air is like doing no favors for this hairdo right now, but I don't care. This is so lovely. It's so quiet and peaceful out here. In fact, it's so nice, and not supposed to rain the rest of the day, but I wanted to make a fire, and I was gonna do that, but then my mom texted me and reminded me that she wants to go to the fair tonight. So we're gonna go to the Topsom Fair this afternoon, walk around, see some animals, eat some junk food, see whatever there is to see, and just enjoy the evening. Speaking of childhood earlier, is anyone else just totally reliving childhood these days? Because I definitely find myself doing that. The last couple of years, I find myself really enjoying things that I used to enjoy as a kid, like going to the fair. Even if my mom didn't want to go, I would still be trying to hit every fair. Now that fair season is officially upon us, I'm very excited. I just love doing stuff like that, like amusement parks, water parks, camping, hiking. All of the things that I really loved doing as a kid, I'm fully enjoying them again, and I have no issue about doing any of those things by myself. In fact, I think it's kind of awesome because I'm totally on my own schedule, which it seems kind of weird to like go to a theme park or a water park by yourself, but I totally do it. It's just so much fun. I'm loving it. So I'm really happy about going to the fair this evening. I guess that's one of the nice things about adulthood that people always told you was going to be great one day, but you always wondered when. Oh man, totally enjoying being an adult and just doing the childhood favorites. It's so much fun. Even just going out to eat by myself, I really love it. People ask me all the time like how I dare to do things by myself, even like hiking or walking in the woods or going out to eat. I love going out to eat by myself. You can almost always get seated right away, no matter how busy it is. And I don't know, even if it's busy and you're tucked in a corner, you can just sit back, people watch. No one gives a shit. I love it. And like, a lot of people seem to be uncomfortable with other people looking at them and judging them, like, why are they alone? And you know, I don't think that's the case. I think if anyone's staring at someone who's sitting by themselves, they're probably just, dang, I wish I could do that. I wonder what they're doing here. I don't know. I find it interesting when someone's by themselves. I'm like, good for you. Just doing things anyway, you know? So, I don't know. If you're one of those people that doesn't dare to do things on your own, just try it. It gets easier and it's so fun. Definitely one of the upsides of like being forever single, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just always am trying to make the best out of being single. Because what's the point of sitting around and not doing things, just waiting until you have someone to do things with? Then you're just wasting so much time. And me specifically, I've been single for, embarrassingly, like 5 years now. If I'd have just been too scared to do things on my own, that would have just been 5 years of complete waste. What else would I be doing? Hibernating? No, that's so boring. Go camping, go hiking, do all the fun things, because life is just too short. And whoa, I don't know where all that just came from, but it's probably just because, I don't know, I'm in a good mood lately. Work has been too much. Income-wise, work-wise, I'm feeling much better. I didn't love 3 days, because obviously that's 2 overnights on the boat, and they're fine. It's just my body can't recover from them or like deal with that like it could when I did this job 15 years ago. You're not necessarily sleeping on the most comfortable surface. A lot of these boats have maybe really nice bunk cushions, but they're like 20 years smushed down, you know? So they're like, and it feels like you're laying on plywood, and that's because you kind of are. And my hips, just my knees, my back, nothing agrees with that situation. So it's kind of sucky. I slept all right the first night, but then the second night, I only slept for a couple hours, and partially because I knew we were on our way in. We got done the last bit of fishing at like 1 a.m. and it was about a 3-hour steam back into Portland Harbor. And so we got back a little after 4 a.m., which is cool. I mean, I was happy to get that third sea day, and my income is just a set rate per day based on a 24-hour clock. So at midnight started my new sea day, so I got a full day of pay for only 4 hours, which is awesome. But on the flip side of that, the whole 24-hour period before that, I also got the same set pay. I'm paid $300 per sea day, flat rate. When you divide that across 24 hours, that drops my pay down to $12.50 an hour, which really sucks when you think about it that way. And, you know, even the calendar day before that, the day we actually left, we left at 5 a.m. and that was 19 hours on a boat, which is $15.78 an hour, you know, like. So that's why certainly the day trips pay off financially. They're a lot of work, it's a lot of rigmarole for one day and a lot of driving, but man, it at least keeps the hourly rate up somewhere above minimum wage. When you're out there for 24 hours, that's not minimum wage. So I'm excited about the number of days so far, but maybe I should really just stick to the single day trips. But right, so we landed yesterday at 4 a.m. and I got back to my aunt's house a little after 5 a.m. But I just stayed up the rest of the day, and so that way I knew I would sleep really good last night. But of course, wouldn't you know, at 6 p.m. I got a text from my supervisor. Hey, any chance you could take a boat out of Gloucester at 2 a.m. tomorrow? And I was like, obviously she didn't know that I hadn't slept really the night before. She just figured she'd ask, but I was like, oh hell no. I was just too exhausted. I would have had to leave to get to the dock by 2 a.m. Well, really by like 1:30, so I could get there, load my shit, move my car, get back to the boat. I would have had to leave the house at like 11:30 p.m. last night, so I would have had to go to bed immediately, and I like had nothing ready. So I actually turned down a boat trip for the first time, but I would have been toast if I had tried to make that trip, even though it would have been great to get the extra mileage too, but oh Lord, no. So I don't know what's going on with August versus July, but okay, I'm gonna roll with it for now. Doesn't mean I'm not still gonna be job hunting, because totally. Sunday is supposed to be beautiful, and they'll probably ask if I want a boat trip, I'm guessing, but nope, we are having a family cookout, and I don't hardly ever get to see my cousins, and so I am taking a day. I'm having a family day, and that's the priority. It sounds like there's plenty of work to go around. Anyway, I really don't know what's going on. I don't want to ask, because that would be weird, but I don't know if we have just been losing observers, you know, I don't know. So we need more coverage lately, which I'm okay with. For now, I'm happy about all the work coming in. I don't know. Timing. You just never know with these things. It's always a gamble. But I am wondering if we have lost people. Which isn't surprising. Like, y'all know, we've talked about and you've speculated on. Yeah, this is a very high turnover job. And in fact, I got a email recently where they put out a survey to all observers about the retention, and it's just like a 15-question survey that I'm going to take. I'm sure, just, you know, trying to understand why there is such a high turnover and what is kind of causing that, and where people's heads are at, who are doing the job right now. And so yeah, I'm gonna answer those questions and be honest. Like, we were promised so much work, and now like we're on call literally every day, but having, again, it might be me specifically because I am targeting those single day trips that's just the nature of the beast with them, because they're claiming that they're going every day but only actually going a couple days a week whenever they feel like it, but claiming every day so that they have that option to choose as the days come up, because they're small boats, they need to be weather dependent, and you know, they have their own lives going on too, so there's no like set schedule by any means. But and so that's hard to deal with. Like 6 days of work last month, no one can earn a living, keep themselves afloat in that kind of situation, especially when you are a single person household and you are covering all of the bills by yourself. It's just not feasible whatsoever. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna like share my thoughts on that for sure, because it is frustrating. And I noticed it during training too, because you as part of that training, you go to the Woods Hole like Maine office, and you meet the people who work there, and you just, you hear whisperings, and the in-house staff there are really frustrated with the amount of observer turnover, and it's like they don't understand it. So I'm assuming this kind of survey is to help understand, but because it's like they're not the ones in our shoes that are out here just scheduled basically on call all the damn time. I don't know most days and like till 8 p.m. if I'm working the next day or not, and that sucks. You can't schedule anything. It's not like it's a Monday to Friday thing. It's 7 friggin' days a week that you might be on call, you might be working. Holidays, they don't mean a thing. So when you're promised so much work and you're on call all the time, it just looks like, how do these in-house staff not understand how frustrating that is? Some of them have been an observer before and worked their way up into in-house staff, but others have not at all. So I guess they don't quite understand it. And also times have changed. Like I told you guys, it was not like this 15 years ago when I did this job before. It was not like this at all. I did it for 2.5 years back then, and I never experienced this kind of cancellation rate and feeling like I was on call and tied to my phone every day. It was not like that. It's definitely a newer thing. You know, I don't know how new, obviously, but so some of these people that have been an observer before, maybe they were an observer in years where it wasn't like this, and so they're not understanding how things have changed. A whole bunch of shit that no one cared about, but maybe that's where work's at lately. And don't worry. Over the next couple of days, I plan to make a few resume templates, get them ready, fresh and updated. You know, have like a chemist version, a biologist version, a marine scientist version, and just be ready. There's certainly not a lot out there right now, but I'm gonna be ready.